Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about soul fragmentation and healing soul fragmentation. What is this? Why is this important? I'm going to be coming at this from the lens of trauma healing, because so much in my work I see people who are stuck in repetitive patterns and cycles, and they're trying to get out of these patterns and cycles. Okay, if that's you, stick around. You're trying to evolve, you're trying to heal, you're trying to be the best version of you. Well, we have to talk about soul retrieval and soul fragmentation, because when your soul is fragmented or stuck in the past, whether that's this life or another life, it keeps you stuck in these cycles or patterns, repeating the same karmic lessons. And it's important to know how to get out and understanding it from that trauma healing standpoint. So let's get into it. Please like and subscribe and comment below if this supports you so that it can boost my channel. I appreciate all of you guys who have been here for a while and check out all of my videos. If you have anything that you want me to talk about, please let me know and I'm happy to create topics around or videos around that. My name is Grace Moralia. I specialize in trauma and subconscious healing. What I do is I offer one-on-one coaching programs and in-person retreats that support you in identifying and healing old patterns, limiting beliefs, childhood traumas, toxic relationship patterns, things that are keeping you stuck in your life that you really want to evolve out of. You want to understand the tools. You want to have someone hold space for you to go deep inside of yourself to heal the root of these issues. I teach you tools. I give you coaching. I'm able to see energies in people's energy fields when they are talking to me and sharing about their wounds to me. So I can literally see what age of you or what is blocking you, whether it's coming from your lineage or a different lifetime or childhood. And together we really work through that root. The way that we do that is through coaching, hypnotherapy, parts work, energy work. I do readings in all of my sessions as well. So I do have one more spot for an in-depth coaching program for this month. So I'm looking for someone to fill that. If you are drawn to my work and my energy, then you can reach out directly to me below and through my number, and you can text me a little bit about your situation and what you're working through, what you want help with, why are you called, what are you ready to transform, who do you want to be. This is for people who really do want a transformation and are tired of their own shit and are tired of feeling stuck, and they want to feel aligned to their soul and their purpose, because healing yourself helps you become aligned to your purpose. So if that calls to you, can reach out to me below. And I also have an offer for you. It's a mini course, trauma and inner child healing course below. You can check that out as well as a lower ticket offer. Okay, thank you for being here again. Let's get into it. So I just want to start by talking about what soul fragmentation is and why soul retrieval is important. So again, from a trauma healing standpoint, when your soul has been through trauma, it fragments. Part of you is lost. Why does this happen? Because it's basically that you do not have some need met in an instance. That's when trauma happens, when some need is not being met in that situation. That need is typically safety, love, awareness, support. So what happens? Our body, our nervous system gets overstimulated and lacks knowledge of how to process the emotion and the energy and the situation that's around us. So what happens is the soul fragments in that place. So when that happens, you get stuck. Literally see it as part of you getting stuck in that timeline. And what do I mean by timeline? Means reality, that point of your life, that timeline of your life, you're stuck there. What does this cause? This causes trauma to form. And when a trauma is formed, then it affects your belief systems, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about the world, what you believe about relationships. And that energy form gets stuck in the body. So if we are the creators of our lives, which we are sovereign creators. Each person creates their own life. Now, I do want to say, if you have been through, which we all have been through, traumas and pain, then since that gets stuck in our body and our psyche and our memories, that energy form manifests around us until we get into the root of healing that and then the pattern stops playing out. So basically, you need to retrieve the parts of you that are stuck in the past and merge them with you now, okay? And I'm gonna talk about how we can do that, but I wanna explain all of this first, right? So basically, we want to become whole. If you don't feel whole, for example, you find yourself in overeating, or you fear abandonment, or you keep attracting the same avoidant partners or anxious partners or whatever, or scarcity, then there's some part of your soul that has been fragmented and is stuck in the timeline of that happening. So we need to understand what the root of that is. We need to go back to the root of that, and maybe you already know what the root of that is, but let's start there. I want you to just become aware of what is blocking you right now and ask yourself, when did these things start? Now, some of it might be conscious, some of it might be subconscious. That's the power of subconscious healing that I facilitate, but becoming aware of that. All right, so let's talk about how to retrieve that part of yourself. Basically, what we need to do is merge with that point of view. So, for example, let's bring up a wound that you have right now. I'm gonna use not feeling good enough as an example, and I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm gonna tell you a story. I had a father and have a father who is extreme perfectionist. He's Italian. I have Italian bloodline. He came from a father who I bet did not hug him one time. Like, honestly, I bet he didn't say I love. He probably said I love you a handful of times in his life. And my grandfather, literally, he passed away. But what he would say to me when I was growing up is, "I'm sorry I never loved you. I'm sorry that I never showed up for you, Grace." And he was still alive. Like, he would say that to me every time we'd have a family holiday. And I'd be like, okay, you're still alive. Like, you can love me now. And it just showed where he was at. He literally had no idea how to love. Plus, my dad had an abusive mom. So he was surrounded by people who were abusive and never showed him love. So of course that's going to create a father, my father, who is hard on himself, right? I always look at people's issues from a lens of what trauma are they dealing with, what wound are they dealing with. So because he didn't have love given to him, he became super hard on himself. He became a perfectionist. So he passed that trauma on to me by being hard on me, by having expectations on me. And guess what? I don't fit in boxes, you guys. I am not a box girl in any way. If you try to hold me back, you are out of my life. And that's just the way it is, because I'm here to grow and evolve, and I hate feeling stuck. Anything that keeps me stuck, I'm like, I gotta break out of it, which is why I created my own business. And I've done a lot of things in my adult life, like taking giant risks and going into the unknown that have been really scary, but ultimately that level of vulnerability with life has led me into a deep sense of personal power and purpose. Of course, that requires risk. So because my father was super hard on me, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And I had to prove my worthiness to my dad. So I'm looking for ways growing up to make my dad proud of me and to see me. And because I didn't fit into his expectations, I didn't go to college like he wanted me to. I mean, I left college the first year in, and I, was artistic and creative and just didn't want to do things the normal way. He would always see that as, oh, she's gonna fail and she's not gonna be able to do it. And so him telling me that made me really feel like I wasn't good enough and that I had to prove myself to life. I had to prove myself to my clients. I had to prove myself to my friends. I had to prove myself to my lovers in order to be loved properly. So that left me in a cycle of not feeling good enough and being hard on myself and being a perfectionist. So I had to figure out how to heal the part of me that felt not good enough so that I could receive more in life. I wasn't able to create what I wanted, the business that I wanted, the relationships that I wanted, when I had this big block and fragmentation that was passed to me from my father line, holding me back in that instance, right? So what did I do? I decided to start focusing all of my energy and time on healing this not feeling good enough. And the way that I did that was I would start meditating and just sitting. You don't have to do this in a meditation, But I would sit in my bed every night for about a month, and I would close my eyes and I would breathe into my body, and I would ask myself, where am I holding on to this unworthiness in my body? Where am I not feeling good enough? And I would really start bringing my awareness to it and just start being super curious about what emotions I was holding on to. What does this feel like in my body? And through me bringing awareness to this not feeling good enough, I was able to start figuring out what I needed to let it go. This is a pro tip in healing, and it gets into a little bit of a shamanic perspective, but I want you to try it with your main wounds or a wound that's holding you back right now, that's fragmenting you, right? So basically, you bring it up in the body and you just bring awareness and love to it. You bringing awareness and love to your wounds clears the energetic pattern out of your body. It's not that, like, the reason you're repeating the patterns is because it's trying to find an outlet. It's trying to tell you that it's stuck there and it needs help being released. So you can't manifest your way out of wounds. You can't ignore them. You have to be super present with the process that your wounds are, with the information that they are holding in your body. When I would do this, and I still do this all the time, I mean, I do this all the time, you guys, literally. And by sitting with them, it clears it. Every time you sit with it, it clears it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It gets deeper and deeper the more that you do it. But by sitting and breathing with it, and I want you to, this is the key, talking to it. You have this program inside of your wounds. Like, for example, me, I had a program inside of my not feeling good enough wound that I would not be good enough until dad told me I was good enough. So that led me into going into the world in this fragmented way of subconsciously trying to prove myself to my dad in every situation. I'm looking for proof that I'm worthy. I'm looking for proof that I'm seen. I'm looking for proof that I'm loved. And that held me back from receiving the money, the love that I wanted to feel inside of myself primarily. Because what you're seeking out there is what you're actually looking for, wholeness within you just right now. So it's about meeting the needs of the fragmented self, listening to the fragmented self, loving the fragmented self so that your power gets taken away from that externalized thing and brought into your own self so that you feel whole in that. You feel whole in that. You feel strong in that. That is what healing is. It is awareness and presence with the wounding. So I want you to pick a wound and meditate on it. Meditate on it and get curious about what the consistency is of it. What does it feel like? What is the energetic pattern? And your role is to love and nurture that wound in the way that it needs to be loved and nurtured. Okay? Through this process, you merge with the wound and come into wholeness and balance, and the fragmented self becomes resolved. Therefore, you no longer need to repeat the pattern. The pattern dissolves outside of you because the pattern resolved inside of you. Everything that you want to shift out there needs to be shifted energetically within you. That's the key. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm teaching you. So we have to see, what is holding you back right now? What are you still holding on to from the past? What patterns are you playing out? When you self-sabotage, there is something within you that is saying, hey, I need love. And it's probably, I need mom or dad. I need to be seen. So instead of being hard on yourself for these things that are blocking you, it's more important for you to love it, love it, love it. Give it an outlet to leave your body, all right? And that's exactly what we do in my one-on-one coaching programs. So if that calls to you, you want that transformation, you're tired of feeling stuck, you want the tools, then you want the healthy relationships. I mean, this creates healthy relationships, this creates abundance, this creates purpose, this creates self-love, this creates a better body, this creates absolutely everything because you're healing your inner soul. And as long as your soul is stuck, you're not going to be able to get the life that you want. And even if you do get the life that you want, you're not going to feel the way that you want to feel. So it's about reverse engineering. Look outside of you. What's playing out that feels fragmented, that feels stuck? Come back within and ask, what does this need from me to heal? And that's more of the recipe, which I know sounds complicated, but that's a practice you can use. And so let me know in the comments if this was helpful. I'll answer your comments if you have any questions about any of that. But I really feel this is super important to talk about, and know that your wholeness, your inner truth, your intuition is all inside of you. You don't need to go anywhere for it, but you do need to strip away the layers of the self that keep you from feeling full, whole, complete within. And that's your medicine for yourself. That's how you get what you're looking for. And yeah, I hope that was helpful. If you want to work together and take that one spot, you can text me, no pressure conversation, just to see if it would align for us to do this work together. I hope this was supportive. We've got 15 minutes and 55 seconds on my timer. All right, love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.